can you start by introducing yourself and what you do?
I can do that.
Yeah.
I'm Cami Earl. I own Kosmo. I want to look at Jenny really bad, but I'm going to try not to.
She's fine.
I feel like I'm excluding her if I don't. Sorry, Jen.
Oh, no.
Okay. Anyways, I'm
You're used to it.
Salon. I opened in 2016 in the Orchards in a 526 square feet little A-frame hot dog house. Do you remember the hot dog house?
Oh, yeah.
I think it was called the Dog House.
Yeah.
On 10th.
That place is good, I feel like.
Yeah, I there. I grew up on 10th, actually. I grew in 2021 and moved down here actually to Main Street, your neighbor. 620 Main Street in 2021 to like 2,700 square feet.
Oh, man, that's pretty big.
That's too much.
Yeah.
There's like 1,000 upstairs that we don't use. So anyways, so 7 years. I think it's my 7th year being a independent contractor.
And through Facebook, I kind of noticed you had a bunch of gals working there.
Currently, I have 7. Sorry if I left you out. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, including myself. We had 8. We had an assistant. She was the best ever. For a couple of years, she was like 19 when she got hired. She's a college student, so she just left us for an accounting job. But
so now
I had 8. Yeah, 8 women in a room. It's wild.
So explain to me, as a guy, what goes on in these hair salons.
Yeah. Men don't actually know. We get husbands text like, "Are you done yet?" I'm like, "Are you? Do you even know what we're doing?" What happens in a hair? I don't know. Literally, hair people, girls show up and they tell us all their secrets.
Yeah.
Women, we actually do men too. We do everything. I have a brow, like a tattoo brow girl. She does microblading. I have a lash artist. That's like a very big trend at the moment. She does lash extensions. These are like hour appointments. Actually, I have no idea how long brows take. And then everyone does like hand tight extensions are this huge thing. I'm sure you know someone or your girlfriend maybe even has them.
Maybe.
Does she? You would.
I don't know. She had ones. She did get installed, and then she sewed them up herself. And then
yeah. She want a job?
She's crafty.
So what do? We do extensions, we do color, we do mostly color, like hair color haircuts. Like that's our jam. No nails, like none of that stuff. No tanning. That seems complex to me.
Yeah.
I kept my business. I never really wanted to own a business. That was never a goal. If you asked me 10 years ago, I would have said like absolutely not. But I didn't know where to go, I guess.
Right.
I needed something specific, and I was like, there's like 200. I think in 2009 there was 216 salons in the valley,
that's wild.
In homes. Was it 216? Yeah, it was like over 200. So I don't know how I just
It's kind of insane how many in-home ones there are. You drive around town, you're like, there's
like a lot.
Yeah.
People end up home. I like people. I like to be around people, so I would never do that. Anyway, so I felt kind of stuck. So I was like, I guess I'm gonna do my own thing. And that's why I got such a small, it was like 500 square feet, very doable. Even if it was just me, like financially, I was like, I could do that.
Yeah.
So turns out I like to be around a lot of people. So I grew, but not being in the beginning actually like totally interested in like the business or like make a bunch of money side of it. Like nobody goes into hair to be a millionaire. I don't know if that's a secret, but
somebody might have.
I don't know.
This is gonna happen.
There are millionaire hairdressers.
Oh, for sure.
Me,
yeah.
But there are. So I kept it simple, I guess. I just like we do the basics. The girls rent their stations. They're also independent technically.
Right.
So all of my stylists rent from me. I'm not a commission salon. I don't pay hourly or take part.
That'd probably be more difficult.
Yeah, for sure. I have actually a car full of envelopes addressed to the IRS and Idaho State Tax Commission because it's like I'm a little late for my quarter, but I pay all my quarterly stuff for my assistant who is on my payroll. And it's complicated, and I'm like,
Yeah.
So for me, I kept business as simple as I could.
That's probably a good plan.
Come rent a chair. You worry about you. Like professionalism is like a huge thing for me. Anyone that knows me knows I'm like kind of a lunatic about it.
So do you kind of manage the employees in that space, or how does that work when they rent the space?
It's gray. It's a very gray area. So it's like I am the landlord and they are the tenants. Like you kind of can't tell them what to do because they're independent to an extent. So I'm really transparent. So I have this contract. Is it a contract? It's a contract. it doesn't say you have to be here for a year. Some people do that, like work for me for 1 year.
Right.
I don't care. I support people when they grow.
Yeah.
Lots of people actually grow and leave and like open their own places
Right.
and move away. I think that's dope.
It seems kind of common. They seem like there's always somebody
There's a
opening
lot
up
of
a new one.
movement in
Yeah.
this industry, like a lot of movement. So, anyways, in my contract I say like, here's who I am and here's what Kosmo is, and if it doesn't fit for you, so like, the way people dress is a huge thing for me.
Right.
I'm like, there are dated stereotypes of hairdressers. That was as nice as I could say that.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
I am like, that is not who we are. So I am like, be professional, dress professional. I don't do late. People don't show up late. Like if you came for a haircut at 5 p.m., you would never have someone like not be there yet. Or like 8 a.m., I guess. Like who's not at work by 5 p.m. But
Right.
if you came at 8 a.m. in my salon, no one would ever let you beat them. So like that is what I write in my contract. I can't really say like, here's what you can charge, here's what time you have to be here. They kind of do their own thing.
Right.
I just say like, dress nice, treat people well, don't be late or I'm really angry actually. Talk about it in the back.
Right. And like for women's hair, is it more appointment based? Because I mean, I can just walk in anywhere and get a haircut on the spot.
Foreign topic for you.
Right. Yeah. We're gonna make it work.
Yeah, I actually have a pretty good pretty good sized male clientele, and they're always like, "Hey," I'm like, "You guys and your walk, I can't. That's stressful."
Right.
Women make appointments is my answer. Yes. So we are by appointment only.
Gotcha.
There was a point in my career where I was booked like consistently for weeks at a time. So for the sake of people just knowing and I don't know. I don't like turning people away. It makes me uncomfortable. I don't want to come off as like better than, so I'm like, just text us and call us and we'll make you an appointment. But walk-ins are so hard. These girls are like such hard workers. They actually in a very short amount of time are booked out like 2 months solid. So for like scheduling and consistency and a better experience, the walk-in thing is really hard. Well, you
I
can
imagine.
into like a 3-hour.
Yeah.
You're like a 15-minute.
You're like stuck there. Yeah.
Bye. That's easy.
Zip it off. We're good.
We have
Just
to
make
book
me look
it.
handsome.
Yeah. It's easy.
Yeah.
That's easy. So yeah, we schedule everything is scheduled. Everyone kind of communicate. That's the hard part about, I think, I don't know, but maybe business in general, actually. Like people don't have landlines anymore.
Right.
So we're constantly like Instagram messages, Facebook messages. People are Snapchatting now.
Oh man.
It's younger. I'm 32. I'm like, man, I'm really on like the barrier of like a generational thing here. Like I'm too old for that. They'll Snapchat like, hey, when can you get me in? And I'm like, let me look. And then I'm like, what were we talking about?
Right.
So Snapchat, Facebook Messenger, Instagram Messenger, text messages, voicemails. Still get a lot of voicemails.
It's insane. And there's so many like avenues that it's impossible to like keep up on all of it.
I think that's the hard part.
Yeah.
Like the landline thing is just like a thing of the past. So scheduling people almost constantly, like in all my gaps of the day, if I have them, that's what I do. Messages, reply.
Back in the day, it was probably just a giant paper calendar and somebody answer the phone and write it down.
I have one girl, she's going to laugh when if she watches this, that's still pen and papers it.
Oh, man.
You don't like change, but it works. It works.
Yeah.
You can't mess that up.
I feel like the pen and paper calendar is kind of like a cute thing to do now. Yeah. It's like
a craft. It's like
I
want to feel like we have our lives together. Organize the calendar.
Right.
For sure. Yeah.
I saw something on the internet about old pizza delivery people being wizards with a paper map and they answer it.
Yeah.
Just think about how difficult that would be to just
I never
the whole damn town.
You gotta know all the.
Yeah.
I have a sister-in-law who's a police officer, and she is always like knows all the and like my firefighter clients, they know the cross streets and all the street names and all.
I know. I
just
say it's by somewhere and I'll go that
like
way.
a landmark.
Yeah. I don't know the street names. Yeah. I know those street names I constantly go to, but other than that,
I don't think.
Yeah. They're all tree names. Yeah. Things good.
True.
21st. Yeah.
Yeah. 21st sucks. I know that.
Yeah.
I know where it's at.
I've been able to dodge all of it so far. The construction. Yeah.
I do a lot of driving.
Yeah.
Coming down to Main Street, which is so cool. Foot traffic down here is really cool, actually. There's so much more than I thought going on. It's kind of ever changing. I feel like.
Last few years really is kicked off quite a bit.
Yeah, I came down in 21, and like all my neighbors, I'm in the Porter building, all my neighbors, like Grateful Freds, Iconic, everyone just like popped up all kind of at the same time. It's like, well, there's a lot lot of stuff going on down
Right.
here. I didn't know.
Yeah, it got tapped, and then I feel like the
Oh yeah, tapped.
yeah,
You're right.
then was that Hops and Vine? Got all kinds of newer places.
Thrift.
Yeah,
Bakery.
yeah.
So many.
hmm
There's a lot of bakeries really close to me.
Some of them, I wish they'd get the buildings up to snuff so they can put more people in there. But there's some buildings that are kind of, pretty broken down by now.
And maybe you did here, but I did a lot. I did a big build out at my salon, my current salon. You kind of have to, like, plumbing and electrical, like all the
Yeah.
outlets that we use in all of the stations. Like, it's tricky to just walk into a place and it's
Right.
ready to roll.
Yeah.
And it was kind of hard. Mine wasn't terrible, but I had to deal with, like, historic Lewiston has to, like, approve.
Oh,
Like, you have to preserve history. You can't, like, make
can't change the vibe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That vibe I changed. But you can't change, like, big things, I guess, like history. So yeah, down here's tricky. So maybe some people got, like, limitations.
Yeah.
These buildings are so old.
Yeah, it's true. A
Oh.
lot of the roofs, I guess, are just not great.
We leak
Yeah.
sometimes.
You put some buckets around.
I don't do buckets. I don't
Yeah.
remember professionalism.
Yeah.
I'm like, no bucket.
You could bedazzle the buckets,
Yeah.
Well, when you first started your career, you obviously didn't have your own salon. What was that like?
I went from high school in 2009. I graduated in May, the end of May, like Labor Day, or not Labor Day, what is that? Memorial Weekend. And went straight to beauty school in September, like that summer. I needed the summer before I was going to be an adult.
Yeah.
So I went to beauty school and I worked at Swiss Salon in Clarkston. They've been open for longer than
Forever. Yeah.
Like doing something right for sure. That's a long time.
Yeah. I got my haircut there before.
Really? I think everyone has been there at some point.
Got to get in there at some point.
Like when we were young, it was like where everyone got their hair done for like dances and stuff. Anyways, I worked there for 7 years. I think 8, almost 8. She had a Lewiston salon actually, and a Clarkson salon at one point. So I started in Lewiston. And then, so I graduated beauty school in 2010, and I was an employee of Swiss. And in May of 2011, so like I graduated in October, so 6-ish months after that, she was transitioning the whole salon to being booth renters. And I was like, what? I was 19. I think I was 19. Yeah, I was 19.
It's probably scary.
I was terrified because I was technically a sole proprietor at that point. That's how I filed taxes. I was like, I don't know what taxes are.
Yeah.
They teach us trigonometry. I don't know what taxes are. I don't also know trigonometry, actually.
I don't think anyone really retained
I didn't
that.
think it's that class.
Yeah.
I was invited.
I mean, they did some weird stuff to whoever pursued that as a career.
Yeah.
I don't know who's using it.
But it's not.
Sinco's tan. I don't know.
You did it? You do it? Did you do trigonometry?
Nope.
Okay.
Nope.
I don't know what you just spoke.
Well, those were some buttons on the calculator that I remember.
Oh yeah. Okay.
Yeah, I just seen
Sign
how many
sequence.
characters you could draw with them. Yeah.
Anyways, so I became a booth renter, which is also a sole proprietor. So I was like a business owner in the sense of filing taxes and doing whatever I wanted, which is a little scary when you give a 19-year-old like the freedom of their own schedule.
Yeah.
But I do the opposite of that because I have like this obsessive fear of failure, which is where part of my success comes from. Is like I'm like constantly working on something,
Right.
which is like a blessing and a curse, you know. I never just am where I'm at. I'm always like, what am I doing next? Like we were talking about earlier.
In your head all the time.
Next, yeah. Anyways, so I rented a station from her for $350 a month for the remainder of the time I was there, 7-ish years, I think. So I knew I already filed taxes as a business owner. I knew how. I don't know if I would say I knew how. I just did my best, and then my accountant was like, "Give us a whole bunch of money.
Yeah,
you're not that good at your taxes."
Yeah.
Trial by error. So I basically, when I was like, I'm ready to like kind of spread my wings and move on to whatever my next phase in life was, I kind of already was a business owner. It was a nice, easier transition. There was nothing going to change besides I was renting a building for a little more than what I knew I could afford, $350, you know? So that wasn't a bad transition for me. That was like a more simpler than I didn't know if I'd be good at like managing people. That part, like you can't know.
No, not until you do it. Yeah.
I can color hair with my eyes closed. I love it. It comes pretty easily to me. I like it. But people are different. Like that doesn't mean you're good at like, you know,
Yeah.
being a leader.
Yeah.
I don't wanna be people's bosses. I like to, like, lead. You know what I mean?
Right. I think a lot of people can do it that way where they don't come off as a boss, but
Yeah, I'm
they
not a
might
boss,
like
actually.
inspire to do well,
Yeah.
and then it kind of just handles itself in a way where people kind of feel like they should be doing a good job
Yeah.
in their environment.
Yeah, yeah, for
Yeah.
sure.
Hmm.
I have, high expectations, they tell
Yeah.
me. So they without me saying, like, they definitely, like, work hard. Also, they make me work hard. All these young
Right.
I'm 32, like I said, these 20 I have 24-year-old, I have 25 I have 2 25-year-olds. I don't know how old the other 2 are. Probably 25-ish, maybe 26. Anyways, they're young and these guys are doing hair, man.
Nice.
I'm like, "Shit. I don't what how are they?" So, actually, you might attract what you put out, whatever. So I
Mhm.
have these women that work for me that are like so strong that I'm like, oh God, I have to make sure my salon's cute. They can't leave.
Yeah.
What if I don't want them to leave? I have to make sure I'm like being a good leader, being a good
Hmm.
supporter, you know?
Yeah.
Those are huge things for me.
Hmm.
We used to call our salon Norway.
Norway.
It's still kind of like I'm like, this is Norway. Like inside my four walls, we are Norway. And outside, I don't care what you do
What's it called Norway for?
with your time. Have you been to Norway? I have
No,
not been to Norway.
I'd like to.
I have Norwegian heritage,
Oh,
but I don't
you
know
as well.
much. Maybe I'm like I'm not sure.
Yeah.
But my grandma spoke like a tiny bit of Norwegian, so I've always been like curious about it. A girl who I used to work with she grew actually and opened her own salon. She owns a salon down here called Rooted.
Hmm.
It's in the Kettenball building.
I've
Kettenball's like
seen the sign, but I don't know the building name.
it's so cool. Anyways, she used to have this client, this gentleman that is Norwegian, and he would travel to Norway. Like he has family there.
Oh, that's really cool.
Yeah. And he would come back to get his haircut and he would like tell us about it. And they're like way of life. This is where I get like a tiny bit hippie.
Yeah.
Is they're like work week. Like we're like Monday through Friday. People
Mhm.
their work week in Norway is like Monday through Thursday. And our
Just
work
relax.
days in the States, maybe the whole United States is like 9 to 5.
Mhm.
And they're like 9 to 4. And it depends on if you have children and if they're like minors, you can
Yeah.
go early and they're good about vacations and like maternity leave. It's like 14 years long or something.
Yeah.
You know?
It's got to be fully grown.
Yeah, yeah.
On his
And then you
own.
can go back to work and
Yeah.
we're here to support you. I'm like, okay, this is Norway. Like,
Yeah.
you know, we used to like never take lunch breaks and that's
Hmm.
hairdressers like work and make like a little bit of money. That's why I'm like, that's not what we do.
Yeah.
We are home with our kids. That they can do what they want, but my like preach at work is like take care of yourselves first.
Yeah.
And then like let the rest of it. Work can be second. Your mental health, your body health, your family, your home, like that stuff's the best.
Yes. Yeah. It's good because I feel like it gives your team an appreciation of the team when you can kind of
We have a really cool
support all
program.
that kind of stuff.
And retention, which is really cool that I'm very proud of because like
Mhm.
we were talking about earlier. I don't remember if we were rolling before, but there's a lot of moving parts in this industry. People are constantly like it's like ebb and flow. Like
Hmm.
maybe we don't want to do hair anymore. What was that statistic? I used to know so many statistics, which I think are so cool. 73%, this is when I was in beauty school, so it's been a minute. 73% of cosmetologists quit doing hair in the first 5 years. Like quit
Oh,
the
man.
industry. Go to banking, go to whatever, daycares, you know?
Yeah.
So
There's a lot of people consider it like a starting job or like
I would
not.
say we're like the dropouts.
Yeah.
There's definitely like an old stigma to like
Yeah.
it's going away actually. Like
I think.
Instagram makes us like artistic looking.
Right.
It's like
Yeah.
a cooler trend now. But like when
Yeah.
I started, it was like last resort.
I see.
I think that's why I was like,
I guess I've never seen it that way
really?
because
Oh, no.
maybe because it's so expensive.
Hair?
Yeah.
It is now, but it never used to.
Oh, really?
Be.
Yeah. I mean,
Bills to pay.
you've always seen the bad salons where nobody's coming out of the doors looking very good.
Right.
But
I'm like, we're not,
guess
can't.
yeah, there's a difference between that and what you guys do.
I
Yeah.
was like, I remember being in beauty school being like, we are not the same. Like, I just really want to be here. I didn't come here because I had nothing else to do.
Hmm.
I could have done other things.
Yeah.
In a weird transition of time at that age anyway. So
Yeah.
I don't know if I would have landed in here if I wasn't, but
Mhm.
I'm so thankful I did. So I'm like, I'm not here because I have no other options. I'm not here because I am just grabbing at straws, you know?
Hmm.
I'm here. I'm going to make money. And I have
Yeah.
been told that I wouldn't. And I have had a lot
Oh
of
man,
doubt.
really?
Yeah, come on.
Yeah.
Which makes me want to like do it way more, you know?
Yeah.
So, and like family, like I remember my dad who doesn't have social media, thank God. So like he'll never see this ever. He was like, "You're gonna do what?" when
Oh,
I said I was gonna go to beauty school. So I
man, so
I
must have been some stigma I missed.
come on,
Yeah.
Daryl. Is he because he's a boy?
Maybe, maybe. I mean,
Hairdresser. I
but
don't
also growing up, I always had my mom or my grandma cut my hair primarily. So going
they
to
don't
a
do this for
barber
me.
is a super weird thing for me and my brother. Me and my brother will go together, and he
To
gets all
get your
butt
hair cut.
hurt if I don't go.
Oh,
Yeah. Lately, we've been going to Heidi over here.
Heidi's who I send all like when I
Hmm.
have 2 children, I go on maternity leave. I take
Hmm.
maternity leave. That's a cool another thing. Like I'm Norway, I remember.
Yeah,
I send all my gentlemen. I'm like, go see Heidi.
she kills it.
Like she's so
Yeah,
good. She's
yeah,
really good too.
and it's so
And they can
they all do it
walk in.
consistent, so it doesn't matter like who you get over there. It's
Yeah.
yeah, you walk in, they got a sign in sheet now.
Oh,
That's kind of new.
shoot. Because
They're
they're busy.
yeah,
See?
yeah.
They wish they could make appointments, I guess.
Oh yeah,
It's so hard.
maybe.
It's so hard.
Yeah,
But it's fast. It's like
it's fast.
like
Yeah,
10 minutes,
yeah.
15-minute haircuts, you know?
If I look handsome, I'll tip you well.
Grandma and mother retired cutting her head.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
probably
They got
good.
they no time for me
It's like
anymore.
a difficult client.
Yeah. He doesn't shut up. He eats too much food. He steals all my beer. I don't know.
And it's free.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
won't pay them nothing.
Hair used to be inexpensive.
Mm-hmm.
So I just always knew I wanted to do well. Like I enjoy it. I want to do well. And I think that's the beauty of being a business owner. It's like I'm
Mm-hmm.
100% control of how much money I make.
Right.
100%. And I don't like my husband, for example, we were talking about like holidays. I'm like, you just have to wait. You work X amount of hours a week.
Mm-hmm.
He was at the mill. He's at Clearwater Paper. And you just wait for a paycheck and then you set some aside if you're like Christmas, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, why don't I don't have to wait for anything?
Right.
I could work longer. I could take more people. I could work weekends. I don't do that anymore.
That's kind of cool. I mean, you could
Like-
say I want to make this much money and only work that much, or you can
Yeah.
just work like crazy.
Yeah.
And you kind of you would kind of set your own salary at that point.
I think that's the best part about business is that first of all, I get to make my own schedule. Like
Mhm.
who could complain about that? I don't. Zane's like, you don't even have anyone to call in sick to. I'm like, yeah, I've had like 5 women who have been waiting a long time. It's who I have to call in
Yeah.
sick to. Kids are changed. Kids have changed my career a lot. Just think
Mhm.
they're sick, you know, they're sick.
Oh yeah, it's random too. Like 3 a.m. they walk in. I don't feel good, and they barf everywhere.
like,
And, yeah.
I'm gonna have to call my women. We're not going to school today. Yeah, so I'm like, that's the best part about business for me is that
Mhm.
we do this thing at work. We have this whiteboard. Like one of my girls just bought a home. One of my girls just got married in July last year.
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, if you want to make $20,000 by April before your wedding, we'll do the math, like the breakdown of like how many days in the month you work, how many
that's
people
really
you
cool.
see. Here's how much extra you either need to sell or see a person or raise your price.
Hmm.
And you just do it.
Man.
And it's amazing.
Yeah.
There's a price that's too high sometimes. Like you'll lose your guests.
Hmm.
But I just think that's cool that I just can do that.
Yeah.
I can just bust my ass and make way more money in a month.
Yeah.
I tend to do it around tax time.
Oh yeah, that makes sense.
I'm like, March is always my biggest month because I'm like, oh my gosh, what if I didn't save enough, you know?
Yeah.
Or what if my quarterlies were like miscalculated or like low or something?
Oh man, yeah. Taxes is always crazy. You always have that one savings account you put percentage in, but you're always like, oh no.
I've had some interesting years.
Mhm.
There is no knowledge. I've been given no knowledge before.
Oh no.
I
Yeah.
didn't know how to be a business owner. I was just told like rent a station.
Hmm.
Okay.
So when you rent a station and you don't own a salon,
Mhm.
do you have to have an individual business license? So how does
Through
that work?
So the Board of Occupational Licenses is who carries our license. So
Mhm.
we have to have a occupational license, which is cosmetology, and a establishment license. So all of the stations in my salon have their own establishment licenses.
Oh,
like
gotcha.
I'm the umbrella.
Mhm.
So they're a different category. Like mine is the primary, and there are contiguous licenses underneath me.
I see.
But yeah, they all have business licenses, and then the city of Lewiston has business licenses as well,
Mhm.
and they are all supposed to have those too.
Oh man.
They all, yeah. There's a lot of you just learn
Yeah.
as you go.
Yeah.
Like really, actually learn as I go.
Yeah.
I think part of my
They didn't cover that in the school.
no,
Oh, okay.
they taught us a lot of stuff
Mm.
about trigonometry.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. Useless.
It's very useful information, but no taxes.
Yeah.
And I feel like trades are such a huge thing now that so many people are business owners now.
Yeah.
Like in avenues that used to be like broad, like owning a carpet store. Like, it's not that big. It's like a ton of like individual business people now.
Right.
I'm like, we could have afforded to like learn some taxes, I think.
Yeah, it's
I think
it
you could
would
be
definitely be
so
helpful.
good at your job. Actually, like very good at customer service too. But if you're not good at taxes, then you'll tank.
Yes, yeah. And tank really hard too.
Yeah. So I know I have I won't say who actually. I keep thinking like, don't overshare.
Yeah.
Anyways, I have a person in my life that had a business, that ran a business, and then tax season came, and it was a successful business, which is so cool
Mhm.
until it's not, which is right
Right.
around April 14th.
Yes, yeah.
And it's not that cool. And then
No.
he was like, I can't. And he went back to like the workforce.
Mhm.
So I have hired an accountant from the jump, which is really cool
Yeah.
and has helped and just like fallen flat on my face.
Yeah. They got a lot of advice that you gotta listen to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm like, what's a quarterly? Like, what's a 10? I don't know what all this
Mhm.
stuff is, but yeah, like COVID stuff. I'm like, I don't know how to do any of this,
Ugh.
man.
So
They're still calling trying to give me money.
oh,
It
really?
feels like they're fake, but they do actually
Huh.
call to like economic support stuff. I'm like,
Oh, man.
it's,
Some of it's gotta be fake by now.
yes.
I mean, there was a lot of those things going on that were legitimate, but now
Yeah, actually, I applied for one
yeah.
because there was like a no end in sight amount of time that we were closed. We definitely
Oh, you guys what?
turns out haircuts are not essential.
Oh.
I know.
Well, were you guys in Idaho at the time?
Mm-hmm.
Man,
I've been in Idaho. Well,
our lawyer asked us why we shut down. Like, did we get a formal notice that we had to? And I'm like,
we did.
no, we didn't. No, I don't. Nobody did.
I don't. Yeah, I think
So
it
it's
was
kind
like
of
on the news. Like,
yeah.
if you fall into these categories, like you close your.
Mhm. As the brewery, we said we're just gonna close down until we can do it because Idaho government they rule your licensing and all that.
Yeah.
So that could be pulled very easily.
Yeah,
Yeah.
especially with beer. I don't know how
Yeah.
difficult beer and wine. I know liquor licenses are.
Just the licensing is kind of a tough thing.
Are you in restaurant category too? Tricky?
That's when we started to do our own food because if you were considered a restaurant, then you can open sooner. So we tried.
You had avenues
Yeah.
to like try to open. We were
Mhm.
closed for 52 days, I think.
Yeah.
And I had just had my oldest daughter in August of the previous year. So she was what, 5 months old? That might be bad math. I don't know.
Oh yeah.
She was not very old, and I had just taken maternity leave, and I had gone back to work, and then they're like, "You have to
Just
close." I'm
double
like,
whammy.
what? How do people survive?
Mm.
Yeah, we were closed for 2 months, but I don't. Nobody like formally served me.
Right.
I don't think.
Hmm.
I don't know.
Yeah. And there was weird ones like bowling alleys. I was like, why can't you go to bowling alley? You can close down the. I don't know. COVID was strange. What a weird time to be alive that was.
What a weird time to be a business owner.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, you're gonna close for an indefinite, unknown amount of time,
Yeah.
and hopefully we all survive. I know people that lost. I know a lot in my world, in my industry. What was it? Washington was shut down first.
Oh yeah, yeah. Washington. It's just
Like a
right
couple
across the river. They had it really hard.
Not
Yeah.
going over there.
No.
No way. They were closed a couple weeks before, and I know a couple salon owners over there. We're kind of a cool community. We're
Mhm.
tight knit. Most of us, anyways. It's very cool. Like
Well, everyone's moving around like you said, so it's probably a lot of
it would make bad blood, and it
Yeah.
doesn't actually. I don't. There's a cool network of salon owners. I was actually gonna have coffee with one tomorrow morning, but
nice.
anyways, some of their staff left Washington to come to Idaho because Idaho was still open and running salons. So they lost a ton of and then we closed like, I don't know, 10 days later. Or
Right.
something. Yeah.
Like around March or something.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. March.
Yeah.
May like 15th. I think we opened on May 15th. That was tough.
That's when my son was born, April 8th.
In COVID?
Yeah.
I bought a house.
It was
then.
really
It was
weird. Oh,
It was
yeah.
a good idea actually because houses are way more.
Yeah. I bought mine in 2019, so I squeaked by as well.
Oh,
Yeah.
that was great.
Yeah. Yeah.
This is my second house. Yeah, we decided to buy in May 1st of 2020. I had no job actually right then. I was still closed.
Yeah.
Like, they took my loan from me actually.
Oh, really?
Yeah, Sally Mae pulled my loan because it was an unpredictable outcome of like,
Oh man.
yeah, we had it rough.
Yeah.
Not a quitter.
Sucks.
Not a quitter. I think it's the only way to survive this.
Mhm.
In summer, maybe money comes easier. Summer.
Yeah.
But you're not wrong. Hair is definitely an expensive thing now. It's not
Right.
inexpensive. Like all these extensions.
I feel like it's worth
You
it.
guys don't actually know how much extensions cost because like we can't tell.
$400
It's like a female
plus or minus
we can't
3.
tell you. What?
$400 plus or minus
It
3.
was still
Uh,
not
well, there's different tiers though, right?
Yeah,
You got
sure,
the beaded one. I
sure.
don't know. I'm just using words now.
Yeah, there
Yeah.
are actually, you're not you're
Yeah.
not Yeah,
I get close.
it's an investment. It's good though, it's just cool to be finally seen as, like, an art instead of, like,
Right.
a
Yeah. Well, maybe Instagram was a reason for a lot of that because I mean, you wanted to be looked at as the good place, or it's kind of like the good coffee shop is
Yeah.
bougie to look at
There
type of
was a
thing.
time I don't like social media at all, actually.
Hmm.
There isn't much that I like about it. Besides it's a tool, like, I can learn something at the snap of a finger because it's all right there in front of me. Like, that's cool. That's cool. That's great. The rest of it is garbage, I think.
Hmm.
So I had such a hard time with it. And then I took this business class in, I think, 2015. I was at Swiss still
Yeah.
because I transitioned in 2016 to opening Cosmo. I took this business class and she said, you have to pay to have your advertisements in the newspaper as a business. You have to pay the yellow page, like that was a thing.
Hmm.
And it was expensive, actually.
Yeah.
Phone book, whatever, newspaper, running ads on the movie screen, when you go watch the movie.
Oh,
Like
did you ever do
movies.
that? Oh man.
Social media. Anyway, she was saying, like, you can network 600 people in 30 minutes can see your stuff for free. Like, you're
Mhm.
crazy not to use it.
Right.
That was the year that I transitioned to, like, abusing it for my business. Like, not my personal life's not on there much. We just
Mhm.
fixed it. But my business is on there because that's what I use it for. I don't really like social media for anything else. But
Mhm.
from 2015, what year? June of 2015. Within 6 months, I was booked from the time, like, pre-booked ahead of time for like 8 weeks without. And that was like not a heard of thing. I didn't
Right.
know. I was dying. Oh, this is what we work for, and I'm so tired. And we're not eating. This is the goal. Like, how do I get out of this? Anyways, that's when I opened Cosmo. I was like, well, I can do this. So social
Mhm.
media
It's great.
it's a huge, I owe some of my success to it. Like,
Mhm.
it is a good tool to, like, market to the masses so quickly.
Mhm.
That's why I still only use it for business and I don't really use it for personal, but it is a good way to be seen so quickly. And it is part of my success. Like,
Mhm.
I want to show people a nice salon. We offer drinks.
Drinks.
We always look nice. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? You were never late. No one ever no shows you. We're very, I guess, reliable, which
Mhm.
is hard. Like, I don't know. It's people tend to be a flaky is kind of a rough word, but it's the only one I can think of right now,
Yeah.
in our industry. So
For appointments coming in or
stylists,
stylist, gotcha.
the stylist, I think you give a person that much freedom. They're like, I don't go to work. Do you know what I
Oh,
mean? So
yeah,
in
yeah.
history, we have been known to be like, like canceling, rescheduling a lot on people. People have appointments booked. So, like, my salon, I'm like, let's show them cute stuff,
Mhm.
cute decor, nicely dressed women, good customer service. And I would say I owe that to social media.
Yeah.
It was a huge part of my growth.
Yeah.
Even as a business owner, needing people to be filling my stations because my rent, it's a huge building. Like,
Mhm.
it's a not small amount.
Yeah.
It's good for that.
Mhm.
I have other stylists. I think my Instagram is more people that would potentially work for, like, who work in the industry that could be my future
Mhm.
teammates than just like consumers.
Yeah.
I could be wrong.
Well, I feel like just the, dressing nicely and kind of portraying yourself in a specific way is kind of a lost art in a way where, a lot of people don't put much importance on it, and like they don't
It
see it
is
as
a generation.
right. It's kind of weird. Like I remember went into work at your dad's. Everyone had their shirts tucked in. It was crazy.
For sure.
I mean, the offices were a little not PG-13 with
Yeah.
the wall art,
Yeah.
but other than that, they were dressed up.
Yeah.
They had
Yes.
it might have been jeans, but the shirt was tucked in, which I mean, from a fashion standpoint, it's not great. But
Yeah.
there was like a yeah,
Maybe.
yeah, maybe a lot of weird stuff is.
Yeah, I feel like that's the big picture for us. Salons open and close constantly.
Mhm.
So I remember being intimidated when I opened. Like, what do I have to do to keep this running?
Mhm.
So I feel like But I don't know, it's like the whole thing. It's like the way you greet when you walk in and
Mhm.
we're ready. We're not frazzled, you know, everyone's like ready and it's set and they look nice and it smells nice.
Yeah.
It's like a whole and then like why could I charge you a fortune if I look like I just rolled out of bed? You'd be
Yeah.
like, no, I'm
Yeah.
paying you $35 for a men's haircut.
Yeah.
I don't charge
Some
30.
sweatpants.
Men's haircuts are 22.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know. I think that's normal. Is that normal price?
I think so. Yeah.
I do. I don't remember to check other people's prices very often to like
Mhm.
stay in the.
Well, I don't know how important it is.
That's also a shifting thing really hard right now that I struggle. Like the
Mhm.
inflation stuff.
Oh, yeah.
I'm like, are we charging that much money for
Are you charging enough? You know?
To be honest, I've been told recently that I'm kind of like below the margin a little bit, which I don't like that. I work really hard. I would like to be like
Mhm.
at it or right above it because I work really hard for that.
Yeah.
But I'm like, what's going on? I don't
It's crazy.
everyone inflation is such a thing. There's like this topic right now in the hair world of like, should we be inflated? Like, I don't know.
Yeah.
It's such a shift right now with all of our inflation stuff.
Well, I feel like right before inflation, there was also in between inflation and then COVID, there was also like supply chain. Did you guys have trouble getting supplies or?
That's another part of the big picture for my salon as far as like what we want to be is I carry a line. It's a boutique brand. It's from Italy. It's from Parma,
Oh,
Italy.
I see.
So yeah,
Yeah.
the answer is yes.
Yeah.
I'm like, this will be so great. It's also amazing. It's
Mhm.
like, as far as like you could eat it with a spoon. It's very like hair stuff used to be so bad, like
Mhm.
ammonia. There was such terrible chemical, like
Yeah.
amounts of chemicals in hair stuff. And I actually get like kind of nerdy about like chemistry of things.
Mhm.
So this brand is very like healthy and safe. Like your girlfriend could bleach her hair out totally blonde and would still have hair on. It's like very
Oh
nice.
man,
Yeah,
I've
it's
always
great.
heard it's a no-no.
It is if you're not using the right
Yeah.
stuff. So, anyways, our brand comes from Parma and then to warehouses in New York is our stateside warehouse to then a warehouse in Spokane to then us. So it
Mm.
was before COVID. So everything that I have in my entire salon, I'm a fully represented Davines salon from the top to the bottom. Every hairspray, every hair color, anything is Davines is what it's called.
Mhm.
Pre-COVID, we could order it by 11 a.m. one day. It would be there the next day because the warehouses are stocked, you know.
Oh, so it's like
It was
it
so
goes through like a distributor and then
Yeah. So these
okay,
warehouses have tons of it in the States, at least,
gotcha.
and they're really fast at getting it to us. Then the transition from Italy to the States during COVID I can't remember how long it took us
Got backed up. Yeah, there was. I mean,
to get
for
stuff. And like, what do you
pretty much every business, it was kind of messed up for a
Right.
while. It was like,
There was a lot of empathy then. 'cause
did
people
you
were
ever
like,
see the picture of the shipping container
Yeah.
map? They were just parked
Yep.
out there, and
Yep.
they had to keep
Stuck.
running those guys food and
Yeah. Oh, really?
yeah, it was.
They were actually stuck out there, like not eating?
Well, they could eat because you can always call someone. They have like communication on board, but
Hmm.
they were just parked out there because the ports they were understaffed because of COVID, and so they.
Production.
I mean, I'm like, everybody's relying on this. Everyone's already shut
It
down,
was
and
such a trickle.
yeah,
Yeah, we were affected. I kind of forgot about that. It took us a long time. So if I remember right, some people had to like because they would get into a pinch,
Mhm.
use other brands of things that were more accessible in the United States, you know.
Mhm.
But it got hairy for a while.
Ooh,
And part of
that
it,
was perfect.
part of
Did
no,
you say that?
yeah, you got it. I did not.
That was cool.
Part of the price that we charge, I feel like it's because we use nice, you know.
Hmm.
I'm like, I don't. I just nobody knew what to do.
Yeah,
Nobody knows what to do during COVID. We just survived.
yeah.
We did survive.
Well, yeah,
2021, I opened my brand new salon
brand new one.
down here.
Oh, okay.
I grew
Oh,
up.
yeah, that's true.
And I did a build out, like a huge build
Mhm.
out that cost me my life savings.
Did you have to do sprinklers and what have you? Since
No,
was it
structural stuff like
not
that.
large enough, or?
It has
Se-
sprinklers.
Oh, okay.
Oh.
Because sometimes if they don't have sprinklers
didn't.
and then you decide to remodel, you have to.
You have to bring everything up to code.
Yeah.
It turns
And
out
then you could spend
nobody-
hundreds of thousands of dollars on
Nobody-
sprinklers and all that.
until I got into it.
Mhm.
Like the city of Lewiston, I'm like, what?
Yeah.
So I did walls. There was a wall open to the suite next door. We built it. We framed in walls. We framed in one other wall. We plumbed. Had flooring contractors, I had drywall contractors, I had
Oh man.
electricians, paint, that one, so expensive.
Yeah.
I'll never
Paint costs way more than you think it does. Yeah.
and the ceilings are really tall, so I don't blame them for charging that much money. It's probably a difficult thing to do, but
Mhm.
yeah, it was. So COVID, I remember being like terrified of, but 1 year later, I'm like, oh, all right, we
Yeah.
did good. We
Yeah.
did good. I have a very reliable team.
Yeah. So
Without them, it would be a way bigger
did you
risk.
have the majority of the team prior to
I
COVID, or is it pretty much the same team?
Because I had 500 square feet, so it was like this
Mhm.
500, 400 square feet.
Yeah, probably close, yeah.
Yeah, this was it.
Hmm.
So there was only 3 of us. So COVID was 2020. Who did I have? Yeah, we're all still Julia, Taylor, and myself. We all moved to the new, and the assistant,
Mhm.
Megan. The 4 of us moved to the new salon and then hired the rest. Where
Yeah.
everyone's still there. That's not true. There's been a little flux, but
Yeah.
from the original before COVID, they're still with me. They survived. One of my girls graduated beauty school in February of 2020.
Oh man.
And then March, everything.
So she graduated, was happy to get to work, and
The
then
world is ending.
how about no?
I hope we can make it. No, it's good.
So
It's good. It's good.
there has to be at least one nightmare job that you did that didn't go well.
Hair?
Yeah.
There's so many more than one.
Well, what was the worst?
The first thing that pops to my mind,
Did you make a lady go bald?
very close.
Oh no.
Did you ever know of a thing called a chemical reaction?
What?
It's terrifying.
No.
Okay, so our chemical bleach, it's terrible.
Mhm.
It's people want to be blonde. That's the sacrifice you're willing to take. Bleach is not great. Even Dove and S, which is great stuff, it's still bleach. At the end of the day,
Right.
you could explode pigment out of something. That's not awesome for you.
Mhm.
I, in beauty school, remember learning like the fundamentals about like what reacts with what inside of hair. Like if you get a drug test, they do follicle tests because everything lives in your hair strand.
Oh.
Like everything you ingest, everything you eat, everything, like everything is in your hair strand. It's bizarre, actually. Then they
That's
get
why I'm feeling gray. That's it.
yeah, it's for sure why. It's not genetic at all.
Mhm.
So then they give us like cosmetology school people all these chemicals, and I had a client once. I could tell you what month it was. I could tell you what year it was. I could tell you where I went. It's
That dramatic.
terrible.
Kind of weird how aware you are of everything when like things aren't going well.
I didn't know what to say. Anyways, I put bleach on her hair, and we put it in foils. I'm sure you've seen like that at least, right? In your male world.
Yep.
So I put it in a foil, and foil also causes a little bit of a chemical reaction. So I let her sit and I process. You have to process for a bit. And I went to take her foil out. And fortunately, at the salon I worked at that time, it's called a wet station. So right at our stations is a bowl. So you like spin them around and then lay them back in the bowl. Because her back was to the mirror is what I'm saying. Her foil, I've still never seen such a thing. Like a vape smoke, I guess, is the only thing I can compare it to.
Oh man.
Like white and thick smoke. As soon as I opened the foil, it just rolled out. And I remember, in your brain is just like not firing. I remember being like, her hair's on fire. Her hair's not on fire. Her hair's on fire? Or no, is her hair on fire? I was so confused, and it just rolled up. I could tell you exactly the girl who was with me that night at the salon too, working. And I immediately, my knee-jerk reaction, because I thought it was on fire, even though I knew it wasn't, was to hit it with water. And it went,
Oh,
and her hair was like mine, actually. Long, very
super long.
Her hair just came
Just was
every bit
taking strands off. Oh no.
From here to here just went with me. And then you got to figure out what to say. and then I, of course, would never charge somebody.
Yeah.
But I just panicked. I was young, too. I was like, what do I say? So there is things that our chemicals react with that you can't know are there until you're put in a very strange situation. That was like my most traumatic moment, actually. Still today. And she never came back to see me, actually, is the sad part. Could you blame her, though? I guess I would never come back to see me either. But I remember being
my life.
oh my God, I remember being so sad and also terrified. And I was like, what do I tell her? So I just told her, and I knew what was happening. And that is whatever, her business, not mine. But I remember telling her, like, your hair just responded so weird to my light. I'm so sorry. And she was so mad. And I was so sad. And then he never came back, but and she probably hates me, but it's fine. I had no idea what to do. I was so scared.
Probably sees your salon now and she's like, I don't know. It looks like she's doing good work, but she
No, she probably
did
thinks I'm so sketchy.
she did acid my
I
hair in
did. It
half.
melted.
Yeah,
It melted.
that's crazy. Did it smell weird?
Yeah,
Oh man,
like fire. Like actual fire.
that's crazy.
Yeah, it was that. It's a bummer.
Well, somebody said that you had like some sort of big dream of starting your own school or something.
That one of my long I had a really rough school experience.
Yeah.
There was factors in that, right? But like school was so hard for me.
Mhm.
I felt like I just don't know. It was tough. Anyways, my goal since then for some reason has always been like I'll open a beauty school someday. And I feel like because I don't know what percentage of hairdressers transition to being independent, like sole proprietors, LLCs, whatever they decide to be, but booth renters, for example, I would say majority, 70%, even maybe 80% of cosmetologists turn into business owners and have no idea how to do business.
Mhm.
So I will. It's a matter of time. And open a school someday.
Yeah.
And I thought about it this year. There's different avenues I've looked into. There's a lot of laws in cosmetology, which is
Probably.
it seems like it should be like, do whatever you want.
Yeah.
I guess we're not nurses. We're just working with chemicals. Turns out
Yeah.
chemicals are actually kind of sketchy.
Well, yeah. I mean, some of the chemicals involved in some weird stuff are way more caustic than you could, like
yeah.
the stuff that works with acrylics.
Yeah.
I sell O-rings in another life.
Yeah.
You have to have pretty much these chemically inert O-rings. So normally an O-ring like this, 5 cents maybe.
Right.
But these ones are $30. And those go in all of the equipment for this stuff, and they're
by the rules that you guys are held like this.
yeah. So the O-ring can't be melting and ruin the piece of equipment. So I mean, chemicals are a wild thing.
Yeah. So Idaho is like surprisingly strict in some things in our world. So I've looked into owning a school. I would like to structure it with like business incorporated in it.
Kind of some guidance a little bit.
There's a fire in my belly because I've lived it. It's a little projecty, but I can't help it. But I would like that 73% fail rate to like die down a little bit. You know what I mean? Like some schools you're kind of just set up to sink. And I don't think that's fair. Because beauty school is not cheap also.
Really?
It's actually not. It's a surprise.
I don't know. I guess I've never spoken with anyone that actually went through it.
In 2010, I graduated in October 2010. My beauty school with financial aid was $14,604.05. I'll never forget it.
Holy smokes.
It was my first loan. I was a kid.
Yeah.
So that was 13 years ago. You know, beauty school is more expensive than I think people think it is.
Yeah.
So I'm like, then you're just going to go sink. And part of the like fail like thing drives me nuts. That's not who we are anymore. We're like artists and we're business owners and whatever.
Right.
So I'll definitely open a school someday. I'll open it here. I tried to get LCSC to open a cosmetology program.
How'd that go?
I met with the dean. His name was Jeffrey Ober. He was very cool, actually. He didn't laugh at me, which I wasn't sure. You didn't know what you're going to get.
Yeah.
Like there's a hairdresser everywhere. When people are like, what do you do? I'm like, don't judge. Because I'm not that kind of a hairdresser.
Yeah.
Anyways, it was right before they opened the technicals program up in the orchard, the technicals building, I guess where they were house more like trades. And I was like, there's cosmetology schools and other universities and stuff in the States, actually. That's like a common thing versus like individual cosmetology schools like we have.
It's kind of like a trades type class.
Yeah. Absolutely trade. So I was like, hey, you run it. One of my first like long-term goals were get out of being a business owner eventually, like long-term, and work doing what I do, but get paid to do. Like I need LCSC to let me run the program. I want you to pay me to do it. And then I want like retirement, you know what I mean? Like let someone else do that. But he was cool. We talked a lot about it. And part of his argument actually in the beauty school thing, he made phone calls. He actually exchanged so many emails with me. He was very nice. He said that part of the programs that they can do, like they have some regulations to do, I guess. He said if it's an oversaturated market, like if there's two, because there used to be two in town, Leon's and Headmasters. Mr. Leon's is closed now, but at that time there was two, and it's pumping out every year like 50
Right.
to 70 hairdressers in a 30, 40,000 people town. You know, like how many salons are here? Are there enough jobs for them to transition to? Like, are we setting these people up for failure? They're not going
Right.
to find jobs. That was part of why they lost the dental hygiene program that year.
Well, I'm
Year
wondering,
before
like, well, a lot of these, like with today's age, a lot of people might like want to come to LCSE even though they don't intend to open a business or live here.
Right. Or like, yeah, transplant, like,
Right.
you know, transient people. Like,
It's like, what if the program's really good and say, you know,
that was also my argument.
I'm like,
come on, Joe.
doesn't make sense.
Yeah, so I get it. He was like, no, because then you'd be way oversaturating a market that can't support them. Like, there's not enough jobs for that year. I was like, fine. So I'll open my own. So it's always been on. I've read so many laws and so many rules and so many regulations, just trying to decide. I had children right after that. I have a 4-year-old and 1-year-old, so it's a little wild.
Yeah.
A little busy. We're sick a lot. So I just trying to figure out like when, you know, what's right. There is.
Well, now you could just get all the laws gathered up, throw them into ChatGPT AI, and say, "Give me a plan how to open this." And
ChatGPT AI.
Oh man, it's pretty wild. It's like a artificial intelligent like chat bot that
What?
yeah, you can give it like you can get all the laws that cover you in a PDF. You can load it up and you can say, "Hey, can you give me a work list on opening my school?"
See, you're the technology guy.
Yeah.
I'm like, this is where I'm the worst.
Oh, gotcha.
My very worst language is technology.
Yeah.
I'm like a 93-year-old trapped in like a 32-year-old's body.
So right now,
I have an online bank.
You remember the Terminator when we were kids?
Yeah.
That's happening. Yeah.
It seems like you're the guy to ask
It's
questions.
happening for sure.
Yeah, there are weird rules. Like I wanted an apprentice, or no, I wanted like a working school / salon, so I could still have my stylist and myself like working. Like, can I have like a one unit? And
Oh, I see.
they can't like have a shared entrance. They have weird. So I definitely will. It's just a matter of time.
Wall off a door, no big deal.
Just walk around.
Yeah, man, there's so many places that have some weird workarounds.
Down here,
Yeah.
there's some very strangely laid out stations I mean, buildings down here.
Well, that would be a pretty cool kind of, I don't know if it's your final goal.
My end goal is to teach.
Yeah.
I would like to teach people how to like balance. For me is huge, and I think that's part of success. I take time to myself. I took my daughter to karate right before we got here. For example, like I'm the one that I want to be the one that does that. I'm not working from 9 p.m. like hairdressers used to. Once in a great while, maybe. You know what I mean? Like I think there's a dated way of doing it. Even maybe generally. Of like work, grind, like for what? As long as you can pay your bills and sustain your life, like work as much as your mental health allows you to.
Yeah.
So there's so much that I want to teach someone, not just hair, like balance. Norway.
Yeah. Really.
I don't know, hair, of course, business. That is totally an end goal for me. I don't know if it means I wouldn't do hair. That's the part I can't really like come to terms with.
Right.
Because I like my people too,
What if you had like a baller she shed where you still did hair at the home place?
The she shed, or the school would be the she shed?
Well, a little bit of both. You can have it at your house, like one house salon where you can have gal pals come over and pay you.
Yeah.
And then you have your teaching, and then maybe a salon.
Well, yeah, or they could like watch. They need to see someone doing it. I think it's easy to like learn by example. Is
anyone doing hair on the internet?
What do you mean?
Like you live stream the whole thing.
Everyone is doing that.
The whole process? Like the 2-3 hours?
It's called a time lapse.
Oh, don't do the time lapse.
Everyone. As in like, could you learn how to do hair on the internet? Or like
maybe.
Just
there
like
you go.
Exposure stuff. Like
could you? I mean, you could do like a podcast like this at your salon. You can get lav mics. You can podcast with the girl you're doing your hair.
I want these to come with.
Oh, they could. Yeah.
And what would you do? You can't hear the stuff that gets talked about, actually.
Well,
made for the
you could have like after hours salon, like where you have like a night of the month where you have like someone that you'd enjoy talking to.
It would be so entertaining.
Yeah.
I've gotten into like some
Joseph, he's got lav mics for weddings. He can mic you guys up.
This is my next adventure.
Yep, there you go.
Put me into it.
Podcast at the salon. Yep.
There's something about like one-on-one, like for us, like these we're known to like get to know people really quickly.
Mhm.
It's like a one-on-one
I
conversation.
mean, it's a long time. It's a time investment for sure. Yeah.
Depends on what you're doing.
Mhm.
But like I don't know, like social media or like texting our phones, whatever, like that is kind of a dying thing. It's like
Mhm.
an actual in-person conversation. So I think that's why we have such bizarre conversations.
Yeah.
Some could never
I
make
think
it
it's gonna get better.
as in
Remember the Terminator
no.
that I
Yeah.
just spoke about? Terminator.
Okay.
There's gonna be, I feel like, a time in like the next 5 years where you can't see anything at all that's authentic on the internet. So people are gonna be just
Like
like turned
repulsed
off
by
by
it.
it.
I'm ahead of
Yeah.
the curve then.
Yeah.
Well, I'm like,
Yeah.
tell me like that's why today I'm like, tell me my boundaries because
Mhm.
I'm like a I just want like the real shit. Like,
Yeah.
can I say bad words or no? Like,
Yeah.
the perfect answers I
You
like,
can.
which is what the internet is what I'm like not attracted to. I'm like, I
Mhm.
want like genuine, but I think
Right.
you're right actually.
But like the stuff that you see now, like there's a photography contest, like a big one online. A
Okay.
guy won by using an AI generated image. Didn't even take a picture.
Oh.
So there's like you could be pumping out like Salon.
To be honest, what year? Let me think of the years here. I lose track of time. One year, maybe 2018, the filter thing became
Oh man,
like
I can tell.
Yes,
I edit photos all the time, so I'm like, this
we
is
used the
bad.
hashtag no filter because it was
Yeah.
like we're proud of our work. We're not that go find
Mhm.
a no filter hashtag
Yeah.
on a hairdresser's page. You can't fall behind though. Like
Mhm.
all these hairdressers are doing this bomb stuff where everyone looks tan and it's
Mhm.
smooth and it's seamless.
Oh man.
Like you can't go be posting no filter when the rest of the world looks like that. So
Yeah.
you are sucked into this like
Mhm.
less authentic like version of what we're
Yeah.
doing.
I think a seamless like photo booth where you actually had a nice camera
Right.
and you had it pre-set up so your photos just looked good
Yeah.
as well as showing your work
That's also
would be way better than both just using a phone or
Yeah.
using a filter. You
a
could
lot
actually
of
yeah.
hairdressers now have like Canon
Yeah.
cameras. I have a what's it called projector screen from my ceiling that comes down and we use it as a backdrop. It's like a
Oh,
whole
that's pretty cool.
we're like photographers.
Whole production. Yeah.
I'm a good hairdresser.
You can set up presets and just let it rip.
Is that not a filter though?
No, presets for lighting and
Oh,
such.
okay.
Yeah. I mean, lighting couldn't be a filter,
This
but
is where I need
yeah.
to not wear all hats. I need to let you
Mhm.
do stuff. I'm
There you go.
there's so much to take.
But you could also get a business cell phone and just lay it around and have your gals do
That's true.
TikToks and reels and what have you.
That's true.
Yeah.
Just like Packard.
Girls are good at TikToks for some reason.
Man, I don't even have
I don't even know why they think they're entertaining. I mean,
I can't keep. I'm old. I'm telling you, I'm really
Yeah.
old actually. But I can't. You can't fall behind. Even maybe in your world,
Well,
like, you market on
well,
social media.
yeah. Well,
We can't fall behind.
I think because we started our main business in 2008,
Okay.
and our success early on came from a website that we caught on to Google Ads early on.
Right.
So we were just kind of Google Ads was slowing down. So we're like, oh well, what's the next thing that we can,
Yeah.
get on the train? And so yeah, we kind of hopped on Facebook. I'm big on LinkedIn now.
Is LinkedIn like the spot?
Well, a lot of the places I market for are like business to business type of thing.
Yeah.
So on
Depends on your
there,
audience.
I can look up this guy works at this place and he's in purchasing, so he's the guy I need to buy the stuff. So I'll invite him to connect. So I don't know anybody on my LinkedIn, but I have a lot of like connections. I've like thousands now, so it's kind of cool.
I got into TikTok in 2020 because I thought that was the new. There's been a couple things like what's VSCO?
Oh, I don't know.
Do you know what that is?
VSCO.
That's not. That might be like a
I think that's a
property
what?
rental management. I don't
Oh
know.
yeah,
Nope, that's
I think that's like
There was like a
isn't that like
platform.
Airbnb or something? Yeah,
VRBO. Is that what it is?
yeah.
There is a social media platform. I can't remember what it's called now, but anyways, it was like a thing that was supposed to be like the new up and coming. I'm like, oh, I gotta stay.
Was it
The
the
girls
Be
that-
Real thing?
No, it's
Mm.
it was 6 years ago probably.
There's all kinds of them that pop up and they just disappear.
And then TikTok too. I was like, this isn't gonna stick. And then I did. And COVID I had a lot of free time actually. So I started making these hair like videos on TikTok and they were seen a lot. But that is where I struggle is the time.
You got to be consistent, It's kind of crazy, yeah.
It was exciting for like a minute. And
Mhm.
I'm tired.
Yeah.
I'm to bed. Like 11. Can't
Yeah.
go so late. So yeah, social media is I don't know. You just like have to stay with
Well,
it.
there's a reason why it's so many people's jobs now because
Right.
like big business is relying on it and small businesses
Quite literally.
have to do it
And like
because otherwise nobody knows you're there.
for me, I have been fortunate enough to be booked solid with a closed clientele, which is kind of a double-edged sword. Like that's not an awesome thing. That's also an awesome thing. I worked hard for it, but I don't love that. I love people. Anyways, since 2016. So for now, 7 years. And so people are like, why do you need to market yourself? Like you don't need, you almost need the opposite of that. Like if I ever want to cut back, I have to lose people.
Yeah.
So like having my children, I had to lose a couple clients. I only work 4 days a week now, actually. So like I lost people versus need to be seen and be gaining people. But for me, social media is even like my future employees, like my future staff need to know like, hey, I'm still here. My salon's so cute. I'm still cool, very charming.
Yeah.
Like still still work. Like it's even into like our work for like who works for these businesses. Like you have to use social media for that.
Yes.
They gotta we gotta be seen.
Yeah.
So that is what I use it for.
Well, I like the drive. I think it's cool.
Yeah, I think
I mean, I might not be a clientele. Maybe I'll become blonde one day. Who knows?
you need a haircut. You're a clientele.
Yes.
Some people think we don't do men, and we absolutely take men. Men haircuts.
Yeah. How many? Like, do you get random calls or?
My phone rings constantly.
Is it difficult to do? I mean, for people that aren't used to doing it. Yeah.
Yeah. Men's haircuts are actually very hard.
Yeah.
They can be
symmetrical.
and they're surprising creatures.
Yeah. You're in charge of making us look handsome.
Yeah.
And you can mess up. Yeah. Our heads are shaped weird.
Some of my girls will not do men's haircuts.
Really?
Like, they're so intimidated by them.
Yeah.
I don't know. I've had so many in my career, but in reality, convenience is a thing for, you're like on your way home from work, like I'm gonna stop for a haircut while it's on your mind.
Right.
So I've definitely like, that's a kind of a revolving door I've lost some, but I probably have I don't know. I don't know how many clients. I bet I have 300 maybe people. I did that once in 2016. I like counted all of that for some reason. I applied to work for Redken actually once, like the brand Redken.
Oh, really? I've seen that brand.
It's a very common brand.
Yeah.
It's been around since the 60s. Anyways, they asked me all those questions, like how many clients do you have? So I think I have like 300 probably still, and I would say maybe 15 of them are men, 20 maybe.
Oh man.
These are my like ride or dies.
Man.
But it doesn't work for everyone to make a point.
And do you I feel like men are kind of emotionally attached to where they go and like, I go here.
Yeah.
So it's kind of a strange thing.
The thing actually, like when I take maternity leave, they're like, I'm just gonna grow it out. I'm like, what?
I don't know what to do.
There's so many talented people. You're gonna be fine. Like
Yeah.
these girls do gray hair. You're gonna be
Right.
Yeah, you're right. But I think men, because in your guys' nature is to just go wherever can get you in. You've had probably some bad haircuts in your lifetime. You know what I mean?
Well, and I think we're just consistent. What we know what we like for dinner. We buy the same large T-shirt.
Very predictable.
We got the same jeans. Yeah.
So I'm like, you've had bad haircuts, good haircuts. So maybe like when you find someone who's consistent, like I said, we don't no show people, whatever. Like you do a good job haircut, then like, no, we're gonna stay.
Right.
You're gonna do hair forever, right?
Yeah.
People would be like, you're coming back from maternity leave, right? Like you're not gonna close. Yeah.
That's pretty funny.
Like Castaway. One of you guys did it. Henry Funk. Henry Funk.
Oh, he grew his hair out.
I can't. Did he actually do it? His wife was like, "You are Henry. No, you are not." But he was like bound and determined. He's like, "I'm just gonna grow it out." Time you're on, which was like 3 months.
That's pretty.
He's like tight,
Yeah, he's always got it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Be growing your hair.
Right.
Nobody's gonna come to your shows.
Man, did he blame the salon?
I can't remember. Actually,
these guys made me look bad because she had to leave.
It feels like they had a wedding or something he was in. So
yeah.
And turns out she did a great job. I'm like, see,
yeah,
we just
don't be scared.
Brainwash her into we're the bad.
Yeah,
and actually very good people out here.
Yeah,
it's a very talented community.
I think so. It's kind of weird. Like once you start branching out and learning about businesses, you're like, oh man, this place is actually pretty cool.
There's so much stuff. Like I just said, walking in here with you, I'm like, what's all this there's all these businesses right here in this suite that are one address different from me. I didn't even know we're here.
Right.
Yeah, like Lewiston's dope.
Yeah, I kind of hide in here. I get told my wall back here is dark, so sometimes people walk by and they can only see my face.
Yeah.
They're like, oh man, that guy's creepy in there.
And you have these like,
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
what is going on? In here? Yeah, I had no idea. I just like kept walking until I wasn't the nail salon. It wasn't. Until I found it.
Yeah. Well, how do people get a hold of the salon if they want to get a hold of you or one of the gals?
Are you ready?
Yep.
Instagram Messenger, Facebook Messenger, people Snapchat, text message, phone calls. I'm in. If you Google Kosmo, I'm in there. Our phone numbers. I just took my phone actually.
Sometimes that's overwhelming.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
It's if you Google Cosmo, it was me. I always put my phone number, like my actual personal phone number. I am like obsessive about making sure no one goes unresponded to for too long. So to trust someone else to do it scares me. So I just took it on myself.
So anyway, when Facebook changed it to telling you how long it took you to respond, did you took
my response time on my I don't even use Facebook, but Cosmo has a Facebook. Cosmo Messenger is directly linked to my phone, and my response time is sharp because it gives me anxiety.
Yeah.
And I'm like, what? How is it 24 hours? I gotta make it shorter. I also have an auto response, just so people know. Like, people don't like being unresponded to in this world.
No.
So there's an auto that says like, hey, here's what's going on. And then people are chill, but there's like a very weirdness around being not responded to in a world where everything is so fast, you know? So Google Cosmo. Actually, I wonder if you can see all the stylists from there. I do believe my Instagram link is also there, which shows all the stylists. Then you could like people like shop for their stylists. And like what if, you know, depends on what you're looking for.
Yeah.
So that's how you contact Cosmo. It's me.
Nice.
People like called Salon. I'm like, it's me.
Yeah.
Hey.
Do you say Cosmo or do you just say hi?
I say this is Cammy at Cosmo.
Oh,
that's like who I. It's like my face now.
Oh yeah.
Just Cosmo.
That makes sense.
I'm nobody anymore.
Yeah. You're just the salon now.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's probably awesome.
I love it. Like majority, like more than an average person. I like enjoy my work. So I think it's a win.
Yeah.
It's such a win.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Like every day is cool. Yes. My coworkers are so cool.
That's a good thing to have as well. It's like just the solid environment.
Yes, there is like a cool morale. It's hard with women too, you know.
Yeah.
Maybe men too. Probably. I don't know. My husband works at a mill. I hear a lot of his stories.
I feel like men, I feel like men like the grumpiness of each other though.
Yes. Yeah. And like, you guys are worse. I own a salon, which is supposed to be the like, you know.
Right.
I'm like, you guys are way worse than us. Yeah, we have a very solid thing, which like there's a big range of ages, you know, like to like my 19-year-old assistant at a time, and I'm in my 30s. So there's a lot of dynamics happening. But
in your 30s. Last year you were just 31, so you're starting your 30s. Now you're 32. You're in them.
But I'm in the early stages.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. We're still in the first half. Yep.
Yeah. It's awesome. I love it actually. And I hope to actually do it forever. I will probably do it forever.
30s are cooler than 20s, I think.
Way cooler.
I think so.
I'm just like tired and I got bags under my eyes, but like way cooler.
Lots of coffee.
Less, like more, I don't know, less worry about what the world thinks and more just like doing what makes you happy. That's the best part.
We're burnt out on worrying about stuff.
Yeah, I'm tired. Man, that's tired. Quit looking at the amount of people that look at my stories, you know, like that.
Yeah. Well, all right. We better let Jenny out of here.
Go home.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, sounds good. You usually end it on a cheers.
Oh, I can do that.
Yeah. Thank you.